Okay. And I'm just going to share my screen with you all. So welcome to the Chord Cutting Masterclass. I would love to know where everybody, I'll just ask everyone to mute. If you can mute yourself, that would be amazing. Just so that there's no background noise while I'm talking. Thank you. So I'd love to know where you're tuning in from. If you can just type it in the comments section, that'd be great. I'm based in, for those of you who don't know, I'm in Melbourne, Australia. And I'm going to be running this program that I'm talking about today all on Zoom. So let me just add a few more people in. Okay. So can everyone see my screen? Okay, welcome Lisa, welcome Caroline, welcome Rachel. So if you're just jumping on, just pop yourself on mute and just let me know where you're tuning in from in the comment section. So I'm just going to check it out here. Okay, Melbourne, Woodlands, USA, Park Falls, Washington, Brooklyn, New Zealand, Springfield, USA, Long Island, New York, and Mildura. That's okay, Labrini, you can stay as long as you like. Okay, so I'll get started. I'll just let these people jump in too. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, my name's Anthea Spark and I'm a soul-centered coach. I have a background in soul-centered psychotherapy, kinesiology, energy work, and I also do workshop facilitation as well. So I've been doing a lot of in-person facilitation, but recently I've been doing a lot of online stuff as well. So I'm the proud mum of Olivia and Sophie. So these are my little angels, and they really help me learn more and more about myself and teach me more and more about, how to become more empowered adult and mum. So this program that I'm going to be talking to you about today it's the most intense shadow work that I teach, okay? And I want to tell you a little bit about how I got into shadow work. So when I was in my 20s, my early 20s, I started to really get into the spiritual side of life and doing past life regression and spiritual work. Okay. And me and my cousin, we would go and do all these different courses together. And I'd met this lady and she ran this program for 2 weeks called Cutting the Ties That Bind. And I went and did this program with her and it was profound. Like it was as if I was thrown into my own shadow and I had to make my way out of it. And what I realized when I was doing this work was that I had a lot of issues with my mother growing up. Yeah. The relationship that I had with my mother was toxic and I had really struggled to step into who I really was and be a full expression of who I was growing up as a child. And it was in doing this program that I realized I needed more help. And she recommended me to go see a soul-centered psychotherapist. And that's what I did. I started working with this soul-centered psychotherapist who used methodologies and the teachings of Carl Jung. And I worked with her for 2 years and she had such a profound impact on my life. And I'd never been to a therapist who supported me in this way. It was as if she was holding my hand through this journey. Okay. All of the other therapists I had seen were somewhat detached. And it was in doing this treatment, in seeing this therapist, that I thought, you know what, I've learned so much about myself. I want to learn more. I don't want to stop here. So I went and I started studying soul-centered psychotherapy, and I did that for 4 years. And it was through that I realized just how profound this work was, how profound the teachings of Carl Jung were, that I wanted to use that later on in life when I wanted to start really practicing and supporting people. But even through my studies and even through becoming a mum, I just could not stop thinking about cutting the ties that bind. Yeah, I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I knew that when I I knew that it was one thing I wanted to do. It was one way I really wanted to help people so that they could become empowered through this process too. So 4 years ago, when I started working, um, I started to run this program, and I called it Freeing the Ties That Bind, because I had taken the teachings of this woman who she had learnt it through a lady called Phyllis Crystal. Phyllis Crystal is the lady who created the program Cutting the Ties That Bind. And I brought it in, and I added elements to it so that I could make it more my own, because I felt like there was some things missing. And so I brought in my own concepts and ideas, and I started running it 4 years ago with groups, in person, in groups here in Melbourne. And the people who did the program had such profound transformation that even I was blown away by how much they were transforming, because I was like, I didn't realize that it would have such a massive impact on them. And because they were coming together as a group, it literally amplified everything that we were doing together. So when groups of people come together with the same intention to heal, everything is amplified, right? The transformation is so much greater. So I was obsessed. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was like, this is how I'm going to help people. Okay. So is everyone following me so far? Any questions? Just check and make sure. Yep. Okay. So what is shadow work? Does anyone know what shadow work is, or has anyone heard this term before? Shadow work? No. Okay. So I'm going to explain it the best I can. Okay. Now, just like the yin and yang symbol here, okay, we are this yin and yang symbol. Okay. We have a light side and we have a darker side, a shadow side, right? And that line in the middle here is our inner child. Okay. And together we are this complete yin and yang symbol. Now, if you look at this image that I've placed here, there's a man holding a mirror, and the mirror is facing outwards. And as we look into the mirror, we're actually looking at the back of his head. So his shadow is what we're looking at in the mirror, right? But his shadow is facing out. So he does not want us to see his shadow. Often we don't want people to see our shadow. We don't want people to see us when we get really angry, or when we get really depressed, or when we can be manipulative to get what we want, right? We hide those aspects of ourselves to people, right? Because often there's shame associated to it. And that comes from our childhood. You know, growing up, we're told, don't cry, don't behave like that in front of people. We're in public right now, stop it, right? So we create these beliefs that it's not actually safe for us to show people our shadow side. Okay, so is everyone following me? Yeah? Okay. So I'm just asking, if you've just jumped on, to just mute yourself. What are your shadow qualities? Okay, so I did mention a few. Some of them are often the things we may think about ourselves, right? It might be sadness, it might be anger, it might be stress, anxiety, confusion, shock, any of the parts of us where we feel like we don't want people to see that aspect of us. Okay. They're your shadow qualities. They could be, you know, sometimes when you get triggered and you react to things, and then you feel really embarrassed about how you reacted, and you're like, oh my God, I shouldn't have said that, or I should have done this, or I should have done that. That's a part of your shadow side. Okay. Sometimes our shadow can come out without us wanting it to, or without us feeling like we really have any control of it. So let's just talk about belief systems, because these belief systems that we create affect our shadow side, and how they actually define us. So between the ages of 0 and 6, we create what Carl Jung calls our belief systems. Okay, so the things we believe about life, okay, and the things we believe about people. So between the ages of 0 and 6, we're watching what adults are doing, what they're saying, we're absorbing everything in, and we're going, oh, okay, that's how I'm meant to do things. And we create our little rule book. Now, our rule book, it defines how we react to everything in life. Our beliefs define how we react to situations. So it's really important to understand that your beliefs, they create these filters that you see your life through. Okay. So is everyone with me? Is everyone following so far? I'll just check the comments. I just want to make sure everyone's following along. Yep. Okay. Beautiful. All right. So we're talking about filters, wounds, and how we don't heal. If we don't heal our wounds, they actually can control us. Okay. So think about it as if you're wearing a pair of glasses. Okay. So this is the filter you're seeing life through. Everywhere you go, whatever you experience, you're seeing life through these glasses. Now, sometimes these glasses can get cracked. They can have fog on them, so you can't see through them properly. They can be tainted with different experiences. Yes, it's really important to understand through your own self-awareness what filters you're seeing life through. Okay, because whatever, if we don't clean those filters up, we don't heal our wounds, we begin to see everything through the eyes of our wounds, right? Which is essentially our filters that we're wearing. Okay, so as I said earlier, through from the ages of 0 and 6, we create our belief systems, and then as we get older, we create more beliefs, or our beliefs get proven right over and over again. Okay. And so this happens through our experiences as a teen, as an adult. Yeah. And we sometimes our beliefs get proved right over and over again. And other times we have other beliefs that stem from that original belief that then they get proven right over and over again. So we are such complex beings. We're a part of this really delicate and fine web, which I call our psyche. Okay, so in our psyche, it's like a spider web, and there are all these intricate little parts. And inside of all of these parts are our belief systems, our experiences, our wounds. Because it's really important to understand what's inside of yours if you want to transform your life. Okay. So let's just talk about, I'm going to use the abandonment wound as an example for this webinar. Okay. Let's say as a little girl or a little boy, your father and mother split up and your father left. Okay. Now, regardless of what kind of a relationship you had with him, whether it was a really good one or it wasn't so great, he could have physically left or emotionally left, leaving you with this abandonment wound. Okay. You could have had a father even stay in your life, but give you no emotional attention or affection. So he could have emotionally abandoned you, even though he was present in your life the whole time. But for this example, we're going with that he left. Okay. Now, as a little girl or boy, what you're thinking at that time is unknown to us. Potentially, you can't remember it. Sometimes you can, and other times you can't. You can access these memories through doing the inner work. But right now, when you start to explore, you're going to be like, I don't really know what I was thinking back then. But what most children think is that it's their fault that dad's left. Okay. So then you start to take on these ideas and beliefs that you were unlovable, that he must have left because you did something wrong. Yeah. And many other different thoughts and ideas. Okay. So what happens is we drop into victim mentality. Yeah. So victim mentality is like a form of dealing with our wounds. Okay. Now, if we look at this image of this dog here, he looks miserable, right? He looks like he just wants to go for a walk. Yeah. Now, mind you, he's probably been on 6 walks already today, right? The mum, the dad, the sister, the brother, they've all probably taken him for a walk, but he's sitting there going, I just want to go for a walk. Why isn't anyone taking me for a walk, right? So this is what happens when we drop into victim mentality. We're only seeing things through one specific filter, and that is the filter of our wounds. Now, these are the types of things that you could be thinking. How could they do this to me? You know, how could dad leave me? How could he just leave me here? And as you go through life, when your wounds repeat themselves, when your daily or weekly or monthly or yearly experiences happen, and they pardon me, they remind you of your victim, they remind you of your abandonment wound. It's your wound is being your beliefs are being proved right, that everyone abandons me. See, there goes another person. He abandoned me too. She abandoned me too. I never get the happy outcome. Things never work out for me. There must be something wrong with me. Am I that unlovable, right? So these are the things that you can really go into when you're in victim mentality. Yeah. I don't have any money. Now I have to start all over again, right? So really, you just start spiraling down and down and down. Okay. So let's say we're going back to that wound that dad left. How does it affect your adult life? Now, as I said to you already, as we move through life, we'll have experiences that will prove our beliefs right. Like, let's say you have a fight with your best friend and she dumps you and she goes and she finds another friend. There's one way that your belief of being abandoned is proved right. Now, let's say you get into a relationship, you fall in love with someone, a man or a woman, and you start your relationship off really beautiful and things are going great. But then slowly as you get more and more intimate with this person, something happens that sends a rift through the relationship. Okay. And it could be that you start growing apart. Yeah. As in relationships, that's what happens, right? Sometimes people fall in love, but then they start to grow apart. But if you're stuck in victim mentality and you are not recognizing how you are viewing this relationship, what can happen is you can recreate that abandonment again. Okay, so instead of going, okay, maybe we're just growing apart, instead of seeing it through the eyes of the adult and actually viewing the situation as a whole, you're viewing it just like this. Okay, and you're going, he's emotionally abandoning me, or you know, I'm emotionally abandoning myself, or whatever it is, and it creates a separation again. Right? So does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. So this is just an example. I'm not saying that this is how it's going to be, but this is how it can be when we have these severe wounds that we're not aware of. So essentially what we're doing is we're seeing life through the eyes of our wounds. Okay? Now during this program, what happens I'll teach you this process where you cut the cords that bind you to these people. So when we're born, when we come to this planet, we're actually born inside, we grow inside of our mother's womb and we're connected to her by a cord, the umbilical cord. That is the first physical cord that we create when we're here. So often connections and relationships with mother run so deep that's why that relationship can be the hardest relationship to transform, but you can transform it. Now, as you're born, you then create cords with other people, your dad, your siblings, your grandparents. And that's why you can feel this deep sense of connection to them. Yeah. So, do you ever have an experience where you think of a friend and then they call you? And then you're like, I was just thinking of you. It's because you are connected through this invisible energetic cord, right? And we're very powerful beings. We have telepathy between us. We have these energetic cords between us. So we have a way of passing energy back and forth, passing love back and forth through each other. But sometimes those cords can be toxic. Okay. If we grew up in a toxic environment with mother or father or husband or wife, what can happen is they can drain our energy through that cord, or we can still be stuck in that victim mentality because we have a cord connecting us and them. So that's why sometimes it's really hard to let go of people from the past. Now, in cutting these cords, and I'll just read this to you. So, cutting the cords will help you see life and your past through the eyes of the adult. You'll begin to see the past with a new perspective, enabling you to use your experiences from the past as lessons so that you don't recreate them in your future. Okay. So, this program is designed to help you remove old toxic cords through your current or old relationships. It's not designed to remove anyone from your life, but rather free you from old stories and patterns. When you cut the toxic cords, you can create new cords through love. So, I have a lot of people saying to me, I don't want to remove anyone from my life. I don't want to, like, I don't want to cut the cords from my mum because I don't want to remove her from my life. This program is not about you removing anyone from your life. This is about you cutting the cords, whether they're toxic, whether they were there intentionally or unintentionally, so that you can stand as an empowered adult and see your eyes through new lenses that you want to see life through, right? Like, I now attract people into my life who stay and want a long-term relationship with me. I now attract people into my life who love and support all of who I am. I now attract people into my life who allow me to be a full expression of who I am. Yeah. So in order for us to create new filters, we have to get rid of the old ones. And when you start to cut the cords that you were once bound to, you become set free. Yeah. It's actually, I actually find it really difficult to explain, because it's as if when you start doing this program, it's as if you get thrown into the middle of the cords and you make your way out of it. So it's like the realizations and the revelations you have in doing this program, I can't explain to you how profound it is. Yeah. So the chords, think of the chords as if they embody, it's like the chords are a book and they have everything you ever experienced with that person. Yeah. Everything it is documented. The chords have every single thing that ever happened between you and them. Every belief, every story, every pain, every tear is in the chord. So when you cut it, you're actually freeing a massive part of yourself. Yeah. Okay. So any questions before I tell you about the program and what's involved, and give you an offering here? Does anyone have any questions? Okay, so I just got a few comments here. I'm working in a shadow work journal now. Beautiful. Julie's saying my shadow is really coming up for healing. Yep, so people are just agreeing here. Okay, so I think for me, the most profound thing for me when I did this course, and I've done this, I've cut from my twin flame, I've cut from my ex-husband, I've cut from my mother, my father, my brother. And I think the thing that was the most profound thing for me when I did this every single time was that it enabled me to take responsibility for how I behaved in that relationship. Yeah. I stepped out of victim mentality. And when I looked at how I was a victim, I was like, God, that's really ugly to me. I don't want to be that person anymore. Yeah. Yes, I feel hurt by people. And yes, I'm deeply sensitive, but I want to be able to look at my past and go, okay, yes, they behaved that way. And there's no excuse for that. But I also behaved in that way. And I don't like that. So how am I going to change it now? Yeah, because I want to create new relationships, ones that are successful, ones where I experience love and connection. So it's for me, it was okay, I can look at myself now and go, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to choose to do this now. So it was very empowering for me to do that. So what do you get when you do this program? So the program is ran over 6 hourly sessions, and it starts this Saturday and it finishes on April 17th, which is depending where you are in the world. Okay. So you get 6 hourly sessions. You get a workbook. So it's really important to download your workbook, because during the sessions, which are live with me, they're not pre-recorded, they're live, we work through the workbook and I take you through guided visualizations to begin the process. And I teach you exactly how to do the process each and every day. Okay. So there's homework. Yeah. So you have to be really committed to doing the homework. You get 5 days of homework and 2 days of rest. And there's a little break over Easter to allow you to adjust to the changes we've made. And then the following 2 sessions are to really support, to empower you through the changes you've just made. Okay. So you get the digital cutting the cords that bind download to listen to every day, and you get the workbook to use every day. I haven't decided if I'm going to create a Facebook group for it yet. It just depends on how we go. So there's either the emotional support through Facebook or Facebook Messenger during the duration of the program. You get the ability to create a new roadmap for your life, yeah, and support to help you move through it. So it's all well and good for us to go cutting cords, but until you have a clear roadmap of what you want to create and where you want to go, it can be really hard to move forward without it. I will teach you the tools and techniques that you can use daily to support yourself when these memories of the past appear. And you'll get a deeper understanding of shadow work and how to find your power through it, right? So it's all well and good for us to be love and light and positivity. But if we have shadow qualities anchoring us down, it's really hard for us to rise and become more empowered and better versions of ourselves. I've found that it's through shadow work and learning to love all of the aspects that we are that we really find our true power. So this is what you can expect, okay? You literally go through a spiritual purging. Yeah, because you're purging from your etheric, spiritual, emotional, mental, astral, and physical body. Not just this physical body and your emotions, there's many layers. You get freedom from toxic ties. Yeah, so you can cut from your mother, your father, your past lover, your past self, whoever it is that shows up. You will improve the relationship that you have with yourself because you're going to heal the past. You're going to heal the relationship that you have, whether you attack yourself or you beat yourself up or you're too hard on yourself, that is going to begin to change. You get to access the hidden information in your shadow. And when I say hidden information, I mean your belief systems. Yeah, what is actually on these filters that you see life through. This is what the knowledge you're going to gain. Because in order for us to change it, we need to create awareness. You're going to access suppressed emotions and begin to release them. You're going to welcome self-forgiveness and self-acceptance. And what I feel is that you will have like a rebirth doing this program, okay? So when we cut, these are the different things that we cut from, okay? And sometimes people come to me and they're like, I need to cut from my mother. I need to cut from my addiction to alcohol or drugs. And so if those things are really calling you to cut from, we can cut from those things. Or you can cut from a younger version of yourself. And when you cut from a younger version of self, you're cutting from many other people too. Okay. Oops. Let me just go back. So as I mentioned earlier, we're going to go through the layers of all of your different bodies. Okay. We really want to, and this is the first time I've done it like this because we're not just a physical body and an emotional body. We're so much more than that. And we need to really go through each layer because there's a lot of lessons to be learnt there. So if you choose to cut from yourself, what happens is this is you now. This is your past self. If this is mom, if this is dad, if this is twin flame, if this is your children, your addictions, whatever they are, you will literally be cutting from everyone. Okay. Sometimes that's a good thing. Other times you've got to do people specifically on their own. But what can happen is when you cut from your younger self, say it's you from last week, yeah, it enables you to create new chords with all these people, yeah, new healthier chords. But what we do is when we go in to do the process, we connect with your higher consciousness, your higher self, and your higher self will show us who it is best to cut from first. Okay. And we trust in the higher consciousness. So this is the program offering. Normally I charge $397 to run this program, but today I've discounted it for $147. So these are the dates that the class will run. All of the sessions will be recorded and emailed to you so that you can watch them in your own time if you miss a class. So let's say you actually can't come to a couple of them, you can watch the replay. And if you can't come to any of them, some people come to do the program and they don't actually attend any of the classes at all. They just watch the videos. So that's okay as well. So what I will do is I will just stop sharing here and I will share with you the link to the program. So does anybody have any questions? If you have any questions, you can just unmute yourself, because I'm just popping the link to purchase the program in the chat.
Hi, Anthea. It's Julie.
Hi, Julie.
I've got a question.
Yes.
I've subscribed monthly with you.
Yes.
So do I still pay the $147?
No. So because you're a part of my, and this is another option, I've just created a monthly subscription group. So because, Julie, you're a part of the monthly subscription group, this is one of the programs you get for free. So each month you get a free program. This month, this is the free program that you get to participate in.
Oh, beautiful. Lovely.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I'm getting all excited. I was taking all my notes.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Anthea, it's Anya.
Hey, Anya.
Hi. We're twinning today in our pink.
We are, yes.
Could you tell us a little bit more about the monthly subscription, please? Because I'd be interested in that too.
Yes, sure. So I created this monthly subscription because I found that I was running a lot of programs and people were wanting to continue working together. So I created the monthly subscription because I'm like, I feel like this is, we're creating a bit of a community here. So the monthly subscription, you get to come to, I usually run one program a month. Yeah. So you get to participate in the monthly programs for free. I usually run a full moon and a new moon guided activation to help raise your vibration. You get to come to those for free. I also run a kind of a spiritual lesson once a month called Find Your Tribe. You get to come to that as well. And you get to connect with other people in the group as well. So I put people in private breakout rooms in Zoom and they get to know each other and they get to connect. And often the universe does its thing and it puts people with the right people who have similar interests or have had similar experiences. And there's many other things that I'm going to include in the group, but it's very new. I just started it this month, so I'm really excited about it. That's $34 USD per month. Yep. And you get to come to a lot of different things. So I think that's really great value. But if you don't want to come to become a member of the community, you can just purchase the program on its own. Yeah. And the reason why I've discounted it so much is because I feel as though this is a program that can really help people transform their life in a really profound way. Yeah. So I have other programs, Healing Little You programs and relationship programs, but this one, as we evolve and as our consciousness changes, people are understanding more and more that we are multiple dimensional beings of light. Yeah. We're more than just this body and this mind. And so this is a way to transform. If you're like, you're done, I'm done suffering, I'm done being connected to this pain, I want to just kick it out, Yeah. Anya's waving her hands. So that's why I've reduced the rate today. And thank you for coming to the webinar and spending your time with me. And just to give back, I just wanted to discount the course for you. So if you are interested, click on the link and head through. And does anyone want me to send the link for the membership? Yeah. Okay. I'll grab that now. And are there any other questions?
I have one more.
Yes.
I've already subscribed.
Yep.
So I'm not entitled to the discount amount. Is that just for new people, is it?
Which discounted amount, Julie?
I'm not sure. I have to check. I think it was more than 34. Or was my subscription 34 as well?
Yes. Yep.
So it's 34.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yep.
good. All right. I thought it was more. It's got so much going on at the moment.
That's okay.
So I'm not too sure.
I'll double check it for you. But yeah, it's 34 per month.
Oh, beautiful. Thanks,
Yeah,
Anthea.
no problem.
Maybe because it's US, Anthea, like Julie might be thinking
Oh,
she sees it more in Aussie.
It is more in Aussie, Julie. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, so that's US.
It's US. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Yep.
Okay, so I've just popped the link in there for the subscription group as well. So it's in the chat. Thanks, Liz. So does anybody else have any other questions?
Sorry, me again. One last question.
Yes.
If I can't make it to one of the sessions,
Yep.
Where did you say we could look for the replay?
So if you'll get emailed the replays.
Oh, good. I'm going to be
so
coming to them. Yeah. But just in case. Yeah.
Regardless of whether you come or not, you will get all of the emails replayed to you, all of the videos replayed, all of the replays emailed to you, so that you could do the process over and over again if you wanted to.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But if you come and you're like, you know what, I'm going to cut from Dad, great. And then you're like, I don't want to pay and come to another one to cut from Mum. I mean, obviously, if you want to do it with a group, you can. But if you don't, you've got the 6 replays to watch, and you just do it with a different person.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks, Anthea.
No worries. Okay, beautiful people. Well, if there's no other questions, we'll leave it there. If you do have questions, but you want to ask him privately, please find me in Messenger and email me, message me in Messenger, and I will answer your questions. But thank you for coming today, and I look forward to hopefully connecting with you all again really soon. Thanks, Crystal. Nice to see you again. Thanks, Anya. Thanks, Leanne. Julissa, Jamie, Heather, Florica, Shelby. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Thanks, Liz.